feel like there's a recession on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
And this brought me back. You're talking about you moving around, about the last recession, which was from December 2007 to June 2009. So I was like mid 7th grade to like middle of my freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
No, the end of my freshman year in high school. And I remember that time, and it was like my mom wasn't affected that much because she was a teacher. So her job was pretty safe.
Yeah.
But stuff was still getting more expensive. And that's one of the biggest signs of a recession coming, is when inflation doesn't match real wage.
Right.
So when people's wage stays the same and the price of goods keep going up and up, like avocados right now, fucking $100 for 48 avocados.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, someone was like, if you see me selling a white person an avocado for $30, mind your business.
Bro, let me invest in that, because I
Do
know
it now.
somebody that will pay $30 for avocados.
For real?
Not $30,
But they were paid more than what they should.
Bruh, avocado toast in my job are $8 plain.
The fuck?
No toppings. Each
What?
topping is like either $1.50
Just to
or
spread
just
avocado
to
on some
spread.
like probably wheat toast.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause you
it's
gotta be
pretty
healthy.
thick wheat toast though.
Okay, that doesn't.
It's still not. It's
Yeah.
$8 fucking dollars.
Not
nigga.
$8 worth.
We're about to put them prices up because of the fucking avocados.
Damn.
And basically, what a recession is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters, which happened.
Yeah.
So you hear Trump always talking about how great the economy is, and
Yo, I was just reading that today. It's just like, if you compare us to this and if you compare us to that, we're doing so much better, yada, yada, yada. The economy has never been better than, this couple of years. And it's just like,
you're fucking right.
right. Like,
Fucking
it's
clown.
crazy now. His supporters, especially like the Farmers Association, the people who voted for him are just like, no, we are taking the back end of these trades and this tariffs. Like, this is going to affect us. And it's crazy. Like I don't know the exact title, but I think it's like financial advisor or someone who sits in the house for that. It was just still as brainwashed
as him.
It's just
his
like
2 top financial advisors
right
went to all the 5 morning shows.
Exactly. Okay, so did you see it on CNN?
I did see
he's
it.
talking in circles. It's
And
hilarious.
The funniest part too is that this is part of like the psychology of economics.
Yeah.
Because another part of a recession is how the consumers feel about the market. So if the consumers are scared, they spend less, and that slows down the economy of a country. And a lot of people are scared because of the trade war going on with China, and the global economy as a whole is slowing right now.
Right.
So a lot of people are scared, and they don't want to spend as much, and they're not using as much vacation.
Right.
He says that his unemployment rate is so low, but it's because people have to work multiple jobs to get by. Because of inflation.
Exactly.
Because of high rent prices.
And it's just impossible to survive.
Exactly.
It's literally impossible. And actually, to your point, like, that's kind of the reason why back in 07 to 09, on how the recession hit my family. Like, my dad was a car salesperson.
Oof. That's rough.
Yeah.
I know nobody's buying no damn cars.
Yeah, man. Like, and before the recession hit, like, if you can, like, imagine with me, folks, life was, pretty okay. Like, you can make a lot of money being in the car industry. You really can. Especially,
it's one of our main 3.
Yeah. Especially if you're good at it.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of commission. And if you're a personable person and you can make a sell and close deals and, like, not be able to, kind of maneuver the prices, you would make money.
Yeah.
And luckily, that's what my dad did, and he is a very personable person. He's a salesperson at heart, honestly. He can sell ice to a penguin, and he was a salesperson, and life was great. Then the recession hit, and people were not buying cars.
Yeah.
So who's he going to sell to if there's no one to buy the car? And, like, I remember one of the car dealerships that he was working at, because he worked at, like, basically managed a few of them. One of them was shutting down because of the fact that no one was buying cars.
Oof.
And eventually money was getting tight, and my dad had to find other jobs because the car industry was dying, and he was thinking about his family, and he didn't want us to bear the burden of that. But it was like a little too late, and before we knew it, like we were losing things, like almost lost our house and everything. Like the recession really hit us, and at this time too, my parents were putting my sisters through school. So it's just like school was, loans was happening. And it was just, you never realize the domino effect that things like the trade war and the global economy can have on all of us, until it hits. Like, until it's just like, oh, shit, this is happening. Like, we never think about it in the midst of it before, the hell comes in. If you haven't heard, we've seen a lot of businesses kind of support Trump and have fundraisers for him and like support his rallies and stuff. So recently, the pretty known gyms, SoulCycle and Equinox Equinox are facing like the boycotts of membership because the chairman like provided money for Trump's fundraiser.
Yeah, Stephen Ross is actually hosting. Like, he's hosting fucking a party for him in the Hamptons.
Really?
Where each plate costs as much as $250,000 that are all gonna go to the Trump inauguration. I mean the Trump campaign for re-election.
What?
Yeah, so that's why people are mad. Right. And the scary part about this is that he is the main investor at my job.
Really?
Yes. Him and Matt Higgins are the founders of RSE companies, which invested like $30 million into my job, Bluestone Lane.
Okay, so I get it now. Yo, so like when you think about that, right?
Yeah.
Do you say fuck your job because you now like the person funneling revenue for you, providing that money or these services is this huge Trump supporter? Like Chick-fil-A, for example, I guess is, what is it, the CEO or the CEO is like a Trump supporter, and like that happened with the CEO from Uber. Mm-hmm. Remember the backlash from that? Like, do we say fuck off to these organizations or to these brands because they support Trump, or do we bite our tongue down? Like, what?
Personally, I'm all for like boycotting and because that's what hurts people at the end of the day is hurting their pockets.
Right.
But in my case, like the CEO, I feel like is conflicted right now because he wants to let out a statement saying how we don't support yada yada yada.
Right, you
like,
detach yourself from the situation. But
I feel very conflicted. Like, I'm still processing it at the same time.
Right.
Like the left in me wants to just quit and dip.
Yeah.
But the logical in me wants to.
You have to provide.
Yeah. If I'm gonna leave, I need another job.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not at the position where I could just transition out of a job.
No.
But I'm definitely gonna do everything I can in my power to try to make sure that the brand that I work for represents people correctly. So I spoke to my higher ups immediately.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I think he should let out that statement. I work in front of the New York Times building.
Right.
Like, I see these journalists, and they, as soon as the news came out, they brought it up. So it's a tricky situation because this guy is not just that.
Yeah.
He owns 95% of the Dolphins and the stadium. He's a trustee at the Guggenheim. He's a trustee at the Presbyterian Hospital. Right?
Right.
His company owns 60% of Hudson Yards.
Shit.
So, like, this guy he owns probably the street we walk on right now. So what, are we just going to stay home?
Right. What do you, like, seriously, like, what do you see? And this is where probably like a lot of other people now today are facing this. It's just like, what should we do? You know, I can't not, you know, especially with me, I can't not go to Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. Like, yeah. But like, you know, it bothers me that this person who I give all my money to is then giving that money to Trump.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm giving by supporting this company. I'm now supporting Trump in a very weird like way. That's kind of the rationale behind it, right?
Yeah, I could like honestly, I just have to understand. I want to make sure that the money that we make in my company doesn't go directly to Trump.
Okay.
That will make me sleep a little better at night. But I don't fuck with rappers who have domestic violence cases on them.
Okay.
Right? So to me, I have to take that to the next step, and I have to do the same thing with the brands. Like, I don't eat at McDonald's. I don't eat at Wendy's. I don't eat at none of these. I don't spend my money at any of these big brands that support Trump.
Yeah.
I buy most of my clothes is locally sourced from ourselves or our friends.
Right.
And I'm definitely going to try to find a way to make sure my money isn't going to that. And even my labor. So whatever happens, I'm going to see what my job does. I'll keep y'all posted. But right now, I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah.
Another place in Africa, Ethiopia, just broke the world record by planting 350 million trees in 12 hours.
Whoa.
This was like 2 weeks ago. And they plan to plant 4 billion by the end of the summer.
That's beautiful.
To try to combat climate change.
You see, people, actions. That's the only way that we can help protect the world that we live in. We all know it. We all want to talk about it. But this week for My Words Aren't Bible, we're going to discuss the lottery and kind of like our opinions on it. And originally, the lottery was made in California, that established in 1984 to basically help raise money for the public school. And as like a lot of lotteries will have like interstate name here, school lottery, and the money and proceeds that you spend towards the tickets are supposed to help fundraise the school. And this was to really help the states rely less on corporate income taxes. But Americans spent, in 2017, Americans have spent almost $72 billion on lottery tickets. $72 billion here, people.
That's insane.
Exactly. That's so much money on lottery tickets. And basically, out of those people who spent the money on tickets, 75% of them believe that they have a chance of winning. And then 71% of them want to use that money towards the debt that they have.
Jesus Christ. Because,
like, if you really think about it, in a study from Cornell in 2004, they mentioned that the lottery is mainly advertised in very impoverished and low-income communities and areas.
To me, I'm against it because, like you said, how you explained it, it's a make money scheme for the government.
Yeah.
Because the chance of a person winning is 1 in a billion chance.
Yeah.
And how much they made? $72 billion were made. They probably paid it out, like 2, 3, 4 times throughout the year. It's like, I don't think that the money in the lottery is really going to fix these problems. Because the money's there. They're just using it for dumb shit.
Right.
We have Viagra's covered in fucking certain health shit. Right? Birth control isn't.
Exactly. You got, what sense does that
make? Like, the money is there. Like, they just spend it where they want to. The Pentagon got how many $1 billion in funding this year, and public schools are getting cut. So, like, the money is there. They're just not spending it right. Amazon made billions of dollars. How much they paid in taxes? $0. $0.
What?
In $1 billion of profits. So the money, nigga, tax the rich, tax these big corporations.
We live in a very greedy society. Yeah. And we kind of neglect things that should be taken care of for our own personal gain. And I feel like if anything, we should probably do some self-reflection instead of like, you know, putting your money towards the lottery of the chances of you maybe not winning. Like, there's something else that you can do, you know, more good into the world.
And just to finish off myself, like me and Giancarlos has stated in the cash free rules, everything around me, and in the money talks, we have to, as a people, just evaluate what we spend our money on.